Hi everyone, this is going to be the first in a series of videos on how to make classroom materials using different types of software. I'm going to be focusing on open source free software. This first lesson is going to focus on algebraic expressions, and I'm going to be using the Libreoffice software. You can download Libreoffice from libreoffice.org. And I'm going to be using the built-in formula tool. So in order to open up the tool, I'm going to go to Insert, and then down to Object, and then to Formula. So Insert, Object, Formula. And this will open up this little dialog. I've got an input box here. I also have what looks like a little Elements, it's called Elements panel. And there are also some new commands up here in this menu. One thing right off the bat, when you first start using this, you're going to rely a lot on the Elements panel to tell you what the different commands are. As you get better with it, you can start entering things in down here. If you ever lose the Elements panel, you can go to View, and it's got a little checkbox to turn the Elements panel on and off. So that will help you if you lose this panel. First thing, let's just try inputting a fraction. So perhaps the fraction 2/3. Now the command for that, I know the command, but if you don't know, you look over here, and so I'm going to go into the unary binary operators, and I'm going to look around until I find the fraction that I want. So you can see a over b. So you click on this, and it pastes a command down here into the input window. And let me explain what this command is. It's got something, the word over, and then that thing again. And this something is how this formula editor writes its commands. The little curly brackets are grouping symbols, and the less than, question mark, greater than is what it uses for an unknown. You have to substitute something in there. So let's say I wanted to do 2/3. I'm going to replace that with 2, and I'll replace this other less than, question mark, greater than with a 3. Notice that as I'm replacing things here, it's updating what it looks like here. Now to get out of here, I can just click here in the document, and you can see I have 2/3 there. If I double click on 2/3, it'll open it back up. You can also just hit escape to jump out of this. Notice also that there's a padding around this. So if I say put the number 1 to the left, it's padded. In order to get rid of that, you can right click on this and go to Object, and you see here it says spacing. So right now it's set to 8/100ths. You can just put that down to nothing. And now I've gotten rid of that padding. Now because of that padding, a lot of times after I've put one thing in and adjusted it, I just copy whatever I put in. So let's say I just copied this. You can use Control-C to copy this as well. And then I paste it, because now I can go in and edit this one, and it's already got that little formatting thing done. Let's say I wanted to put in an algebraic expression like, let's say I wanted to do the quadratic formula. The quadratic formula starts out x equals, and I know I'm going to have another little fraction. Now on the top, it's the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. So the opposite of b plus or minus. Looking over here, I see plus or minus is the third thing. It says plus or minus sign. Clicking on that, aha! So the command for plus or minus is just plus or minus. And then I'm going to put in here square root. So I need a square root. If you go over here and look under functions, there is square root. And it's what you would expect it to be. It's sqrt and then curly brackets. B squared minus 4ac. Now I want you to look here. See how the A and the C are not italicized? In order to make them italicized, you simply put spaces in. and then they're italicized. And this is all over 2A. So I'm going to put 2 space A so that's italicized. And if I hit escape, that's input. Let me talk for a second about how the grouping symbols work. So let me open this up. I have been using all curly brackets. Curly brackets are grouping symbols, but they don't appear. If I wanted something to appear, so let's say for some reason I wanted to put the parenthesis around the whole top expression, I would replace these with a parenthesis. Likewise, if I wanted to make them a square bracket, I could just replace them with a square bracket. One other thing with grouping symbols is that you have to tell it if you want them to scale. So let's say I wanted to put this whole thing, I want to put square brackets around the whole thing. If I just put a square bracket on the right there, and then I put another square bracket on the left, it's not going to scale. You can see how the square brackets are too small. In order to make them scale, you put the word left in front of the left one, and right in front of the right one, and it will scale left and right. So you could replace these with curly brackets and you won't see them. In order to get a left and right curly brackets are L brace and R brace. That's left curly bracket and right curly bracket. Oops, I need to fix that. Brace. You'll get more comfortable with this as you just experiment and play around with it. Let me also show you how to put in some, say, third root or fourth root of something. So let me just select this whole thing. I'm not sure if you noticed, so each of these opens up a new submenu. So when I went over to functions, that's where I found the square root. The nth root is right below it. So if I click on this, you can see the command is nroot, and then it's got 2 arguments. The first argument is going to be the root, and so let's say this is the third root of 7. One other thing you can do is you can start to combine different types of expressions. So we already know how to make a fraction look like this, 2 over 3. Let's say I wanted to raise something to the 2/3 power. So let me delete all of this. So let's say I wanted to raise 5 to the 2/3 power. So 5 to the, if I just type 2 over 3, it's not going to make it look like I want it to look because it's interpreting this as 5 to the second over 3. That's what you see. So in order to make it the 2/3 power, I have to put a bracket around 2 over 3. Then you can see I have 5 to the 2/3 power. As you use this more, you'll learn a lot of the commands, and it becomes something that I don't even think about it as I use this. A few more things that are helpful if you want to write a Greek letter. So let's say I wanted to write pi. It would be really nice if I could just type pi. And you can see typing pi just gives me the word pi. But if you put a % in front of it, you actually get the Greek letter. If you want to make a capital Greek letter, you simply capitalize the letters itself. So there's the capital pi. I'll leave that in. Another thing that's helpful, let's say I wanted to put in a actual word. So I don't want it to do anything to the formatting. Using double quotes will paste the text directly in. So if I said a word here, so you can see that it just pasted word into it. Otherwise, it's going to italicize it. This is really useful when you need to put in an equal sign. Say you have f of x equal to something, say x squared, and then you want to put a new line in, sorry, and you just want to have an equals. So that's what I use the double quotes for. Now I use the new line command. That's how you can actually force it to jump to a new line. Otherwise it's going to just paste a whole bunch of stuff after this. Alright, so hopefully that gets you started with making things. I will be posting in the next video most likely on how to put graphs in, and I might also look at how to make matrices.